Yeah.
Fair warning.
Fair warning, the tape is running.
And we're on.
And we're on. Okay. Because of a huge schedule of things, we're gonna start this officially a little bit early, so. Good morning. I'll officially call this meeting of the Seneca County Board of Commissioners to order for Tuesday, June 23rd. Please join us for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Kirschner is going to.
Yes, please bow our heads. Dear Lord, please give us the wisdom to do your will. We ask this in your name through your Son, our Lord Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Roll call.
Commissioner Stacy?
Here.
Commissioner Zoller?
Here.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Here.
We'll have the signing of the journal, and I'll accept a motion to approve the DVD recording of the previous session from Tuesday, June 16th, and the index from that meeting.
So moved.
Second. Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Approved. Thank you. All right, any adjustments to the agenda, things that need to be added?
I'd like to talk about some potential meeting dates in, commissioner meeting dates changed in July and August.
Okay, put those, July and August? And I'm gonna add the museum
Ready?
update under
Who's
old
that?
business.
Yep, that's
It's Huron County.
Already? I thought that was 11.
No.
It's a 10. Good morning.
Good morning.
Do I have Huron County?
Hello?
Hello?
We're here.
You're here. All right, we're here in session in Seneca County.
Okay. I'm gonna, start.
She's talking about Commissioner.
Sit back, relax. Take a break.
Ready when you guys are.
We're finding our resolution.
Oh, okay.
If someone leaves.
Matter of assessment, 2015, with hearing, by where the Minnesota Water Conservation District County Ditch Maintenance Program was lead by the we're looking at the statutory return number 104, ditch 7%, staff of stock under 108, 6%, and the negative increase number 147. Do I have a motion? Gary Bauer, I will move to approve the resolution.
All right, Mike Kirschner, Seneca County Commissioners, I second.
Who seconded?
Mike Kirschner.
All right, moved and seconded, we'll vote, whichever clerk wants to go first.
We will. Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes.
Commissioner Zoller?
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Commissioner Dunlap?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Bauer?
Stacy, you have our resolution.
We have our resolution as well. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I have resolution maintenance assessments for collection in 2016 for the Seneca and Huron Joint County ditches maintained by the Seneca County Ditch Maintenance Program. Before Martin Joint County 24.93, Bordner Shank 0%, and Landell Nye 10.24%.
And so we need a motion from you guys first.
I'll make a motion to accept this resolution as stated. Holly Stacy.
They second it, right?
Second. Commissioner Hand?
Okay, I'll do roll call. Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes.
Commissioner Zoller?
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy?
Yes.
Commissioner Bauer? Commissioner Dunlap?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
It?
That's it.
That's it.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, I like it that way.
Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Okay,
That is so much easier. We would travel all the way over to Huron
To do that.
to do that, and what'd it take?
A couple
Minutes? It was senseless. Did any of Seneca County make it to the one in Hancock County last week? Holly?
yes,
Did they have a quorum there?
yeah, they did, they did. So,
Under adjustments, I have a retirement meeting.
oh, okay. I can figure out who's going.
Yes.
We got proclamation.
We need to discuss the strategic planning meeting. And I do have a request for Liberty Health.
And, what's that, I've caught it or not, I'm adding a museum update under old business, from stuff we had last week. All right, we will continue down the list of some scheduled things we have. Beth Schweitzer's here from the Health Department, as the Health Commissioner, to talk to us about concerns and levy stuff.
Yes, thank you for allowing me to address you this morning. I want to let you know that at the last board meeting on May 28th, the Seneca County Board of Health meeting, we did discuss the options for the types of levies that we would place on the ballot in November of this year. And Julie Atkins came and explained those options to the board members and gave us the facts and figures. We discussed all renewal, replacement, or a 2 mil increase, looking at our fiscal needs as well as the history of what our voters have done in the past. Although an increase in millage would have been great for our fiscal needs, we know that under the circumstances, that's probably not a wise decision. So the board did decide to go for a replacement levy, no new millage. And that will go on November 3rd this fall with your approval. At this time, our yearly intake from the levy is around $317,000 with a replacement and the new valuation, at least the amount calculated at this point, would be about $363,292. So we would have an increase of about $50,000. And we know that can change depending on if any changes occur in valuation. So the board did vote for the necessity of the replacement 0.3 mil levy, and we would like your approval for that to proceed.
We need a motion.
And we have a resolution in our,
I have a resolution declaring the necessity for a levy of taxes in excess of the 10 mil limitations on behalf of the Seneca County General Health District. Again, this is a replacement.
Same as a renewal, right? Well, the old levy is expiring and now,
Yes, and it would, if a renewal, it would stay at the same valuation it is now. The replacement will go on new valuation. It'll be based on new valuation of land.
roughly about
and
a
just for
12% increase.
general knowledge,
It's about a 12% increase.
for them to do this, they have to have this passed through us, to the necessity part of that. All right. I will move accordingly to the resolution as stated for the necessity for the Health Department to do their replacement levy.
To make a motion for
Yes.
that? I will second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions? Not call the roll.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes.
Commissioner Zoller?
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy?
Yes. Motion passes. Good. All right, our next thing is scheduled at 10:15, so I think let's do the old business stuff. That way, just in case there's anybody else coming for that scheduled hearing, we're not ahead of them too far. We have the GIS meeting, that is the study meeting. That's the study that was commissioned through LGIF money through the COG. And that is July 1st. They were asking who was going, and I think I've seen emails right now that, Mike, you said you were gonna
Yes.
be able to attend? Okay,
Yeah, and I'm also,
okay.
will be there for that. That's at the COG, right? At 1:30? Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's at 1:30, and I believe, they didn't say location, but I would assume that's where it's at.
Oh,
Is that car? Okay.
okay. All right. Joint Justice Center Leadership Team update. We had the leadership team meeting on Friday, somewhere in my stuff here. It went very well. We met here in the back room. And one of the first things we talked about what the meeting schedule would be as we move this project, continue to move this project through and forward. And the discussion was unanimous that everybody thought we ought to make these meetings public meetings. So we discussed having them somewhere where we have access in rooms. It would be a working committee meeting of the group, but the public will be able to be there and to be part of it. We're keeping notes and minutes of our meetings anyway. So all of that stuff will occur. And the thought was the training room that is in the municipal building, because of its adaptability to have the working tables for the committee and then seating for anybody who wants to come and be there. Now, we've proposed, I don't know if you heard back from the mayor
I
or
haven't
not.
heard
We
back from him.
proposed, afterwards, got thinking about it, we thought maybe accessibility is a little easier if we did it out of public safety. One of the dates proposed, and I'll share those, it's during the fair, so we wouldn't be able to do it out there. So that we would need an alternate place anyway, but tentatively, right now, they are going to be at the municipal building in the training room, which is where the police academy training stuff goes on. It's in the basement. And so, like I said, we potentially might have him somewhere else if he likes the idea for the fairgrounds, but again, the dates adopted for the next 3 meetings, and then there'll be more scheduled, July 17th, July 30th, and August 14th. Now, I think 2 of them are Fridays and 1 is a Thursday, I think. I didn't write down the days of the week on this, based on schedules, but that's the schedule of the meetings.
August, what's the August date?
August 14th.
14th.
14th. The things that we accomplished at this first meeting was the owner's representative request for qualifications. This is the final version, unless anybody comes kick something back here real quick, that we will plan to put on our website. Our legal representatives were also at the meeting, but they've reviewed this, and with Derek's okay, sent it to the full committee just a little bit ago. Said if you got anything, let us know, because since we have resolution and all following procedures and establishing date for advertising, the whole process, the dates for doing this as a resolution today, as soon as, if that passes, we want to be able to have it ready to give out, but the legal ad will run on Friday, the first one. So if, we didn't have it posted till Friday, that's fine, but we thought, why not get it out there? The sooner the better. Aside from that, that's the gist of things. Like I said, getting this discussion on the meeting schedule, getting that figured out. The group felt the frequency of the meetings, we needed to get those first 3 established, make them public meetings. Decide the group would work, with ourselves, just following this through without a facilitator or coordinator, and feeling that our owner's rep is really going to drive the meetings. Once that owner's rep is on board, they're going to be a majority of the meeting in doing those kinds of things, not setting the agendas, but they're going to be the ones filling us in and updating everything and be part of all the rest of the process. We discussed starting to work on the RFQs for the architect and the CMR, and start looking at that the next meeting. And if there's anything else, we would, the next meeting, talk about the scoring grid for the RFQs. That date that they'll be coming in is the date we meet, so we'll have them. Then you guys as well, will be able to be part of. We will figure out how we want to score them from our side of things and what we think on those as they're submitted, and we're getting them a hard copy for each representative group, and as well as a PDF electronic version, so it'll be very easy for us to have to go through, everybody to have access to those. So are there any questions on any of that? That's the...
Yes, I have a few.
Yeah.
So we decided that there will be no moderator at the meeting. Who's the chair of the group?
I kind of let it because I put the agenda together, but in the plans of the future would be I'll put the agenda together, they'll look at it, but we just walked through that, and the parts that the legal counsels kind of needed to take the lead charge of, they did. It worked out really well. It wasn't a problem.
But, I mean,
We stayed on time schedule.
Yeah,
We actually,
You have a meeting, someone's got to typically be a chair, someone's gotta.
Well, I chaired it then, I guess. I
Okay.
called it to
But
order
is that
and
the
walked through the
understanding of
agenda.
is that the understanding of the group?
Yeah, they said they were fine with it. I mean, I put it right on the agenda, facilitator, question mark, do you want, I don't want to do
Okay,
anything,
so
and they said,
we
we're
got-
fine.
Anything that comes out of the leadership group has to come to this body for approval?
Yeah, I think the thing was no decisions out of that group unless they're unanimous on moving forward. But yes, I would want the input of this group if I'm casting a vote for us,
Okay.
by
I mean,
all
I
means.
don't,
And you guys
there's
can
a
be
question between want and must.
Yeah,
So my point is, must anything from that group come to this body for approval?
on the major decisions, I don't know if our meeting dates, schedules, things like that, would not, I think that group's gonna set those dates.
No, any decisions that come out of that group before they're voted on as leadership group, do they need to be approved by this body?
We didn't establish that, but I would like you to have that input. If I'm casting a vote for us, I don't wanna speak for, without you guys knowing whatever I'm voting on.
Okay. If the leadership, if this group is going to be open to the public, then it will come under sunshine laws? Okay. So why wouldn't we have two commissioners on that group?
Well, you guys will be able to be at those meetings, and I raised that question, I said, when we have these, which I think would be good, but there's not gonna be a problem with you having a majority of city council there and/or us having a majority or all of the commissioners
Well,
here.
there have been some talk about, which judges could represent, which commissioners could represent, which council members could represent. That discussion, to me, goes away if it is an open meeting. All commissioners
Yeah.
can be there, all
Yep.
council members can
Yep.
be there, all judges can be there.
Correct.
So, in configuring this group, then, taking that to the next logical conclusion, wouldn't it be logical to say that the judges combined would have a vote, the council members combined would have a vote, and the commissioners combined would have a vote?
Right, which is,
Okay. I've got, we talked about these things, and we talked about them kind of on a cursory basis as this committee was formed as a result of a meeting a couple Saturdays ago. But as I thought about it, the number that we're talking about here is 75%, 25%. We all agree that that's where we're coming from
yeah,
as far as
that's
the
a
ownership
yes.
goes.
And the-
Again, taking this to a next logical point, does it seem odd that the judges, the city, and the county have a single vote that has to be unanimous? Would it not be more logical, given the percentages, that the county have at least two votes?
Well, it requires a unanimous of the three groups.
I understand that, but when you're in a discussion in a group, certainly everybody's input counts. And you may have somebody who is more persuasive than somebody else in making a decision. So my concern is that we have a 75% interest in this project. I know we've had these discussions.
That would be the county and the common police court judges. That's where you're comprising the 75%.
We can go with 63, 23, 14, we can
Yeah,
do all
yeah.
those numbers.
I
But the
understand
fact
that.
of the matter is that in the end, we have 75% responsibility for running this building, and the city has 25%. So using that logic, that would mean we would have 3 votes and the city would have 1, if we took that to the next logical
But if-
conclusion.
But if it requires a unanimous vote,
I mean,
yes.
we have conceded on operation. The operational aspect of it is that it is strictly, we're all equal players, even though the county's is 75% of it, city's 25%. So we really have relinquished a lot of power on the operational part of it, and I'm okay with that.
Well,
But on the building part of it, to relinquish, when we're the largest share, and to have only 1 vote, as the city has 1 vote, again, because the city has dictated a lot of things so far to us. They dictated there's certain judges they don't want involved with it. They dictated they didn't want certain facilitators involved with it. So the city's been dictating a lot to us to this point, and if we go into this thing, everyone's equal, I mean, there's certainly some issues
The
there.
point is, we tried to hit the reset button, and we did, and we got a different group involved. What I don't want to happen is that people are disproportionately represented. And this seems to be the path that we're taking. It may be self-resolving if it is an open meeting, and that was a decision, which I don't agree with, by the way, because I think that just bogs us down and causes, it's gonna cause a lot of, sometimes unnecessary conversation. I felt there ought to be an open meeting maybe once a quarter, but that the leadership team should make the decisions as we go, and that's what we had talked about earlier. I didn't know the decision was gonna be to have it be an open meeting. But if it is an open meeting, then there is no reason that we couldn't have at least 2 votes. And there's no reason that every judge shouldn't be included and every council member shouldn't be included. I don't like the structure where there is no defined chairperson. I know that the assumption was, Holly, that you are the chair of this group, but there has been no decision made for that, and if somebody wanted to, usurp your authority and try to run the meeting, there's nothing that says they couldn't try to do that.
Well, we can define those at the next meeting. I can ask them what their wishes are.
But, again, I had hoped that through the structure of the first meeting, we could, and as far as the moderator goes, we talked about having the owner's rep do that, and I have read owner's representatives' job descriptions, and nowhere in those have I ever seen monitoring.
Yeah, and I didn't mean like they would call a meeting order and run it, but they're gonna be a majority of the things answering our questions, reporting to us on the things that, based on the RFQ, that they're required to do, and reportings and all the different progress of things.
I have a real concern that we don't have some person, some individual, some representative being the facilitator in some fashion. I don't care who that is. I mean, I do care who it is, but it has to be somebody who has some experience at this. I have a concern about that, and I have a concern about our percentage of representation. So and I have a concern about the fact that they are going to come with the meetings. I think that we are putting together here a recipe for a lot of communication that wouldn't necessarily have to happen. And we're putting together a situation in which there will be a lot of input from a lot of people that bogs down the decision-making process.
It's going to be a working meeting of the group in the public, not for the public. It's any meetings that's not your regular meeting. We won't be calling for citizens' comments. They can just be there and see how things happen and how they unfold and
I don't know
how
how
they come together.
I don't know how you can have a public meeting without allowing the people at the audience to have their input.
You can. You can.
Well,
I mean, it's.
I know that it's physically possible to do that, but I don't know how you in good conscience.
Because it's a working meeting, I guess.
Oh, okay, well, I mean, if I went to a meeting because I was interested in a topic, I would want the opportunity to at least express my opinion. And I think that, that takes away the whole purpose of having a public meeting.
Well, it's a public meeting so that we can do what you said. We can have a majority of us there. We can have a majority of city council there. Didn't want anybody, doesn't have to be excluded at that point. Everybody can be there without us having to call a special meeting and have it different than the next meeting. And, which meeting's public, which one's not. All public meetings, we all have the schedule, we can.
So we're telling people you can show up, but you can't make any comments. You can't ask any questions.
You can, but the public will not be.
They can't ask any questions.
The plan is for it to be a working meeting. We're gonna have an agenda, we'll follow the agenda, we'll walk through it. I mean, I've been in charge of other meetings where that's been the case, when there've been special meetings.
The thing that concerns me the most is the time frame. I mean, I see us adding all these people and adding all these things, and resonates in my mind is that according to statistics, construction costs increased 4.4% a year. Last March, a study was done, and we've already cost the taxpayers an additional 400 and some thousand. This process, and I'm on board with this process, please understand me, but as we add all these layers and all these things, what's not the definition of insanity, but how do you get nothing done? Form a large committee.
We got a lot done in an hour and 3 minutes the other day, and had a lot of good discussion, a lot of good input. We know when the cooperative agreement draft was coming. We decided we wanted to make sure we reached out and continue to engage the design review committee that's already done the work. So I'm gonna beg to differ on you that we can't get anything done, and I think the fact that we have a qualified RFQ that's going out for a significant role in this project is a pretty important step and accomplishment that we're ready to approve a schedule if we do that today, so that can happen.
Is the goal to, to have this thing designed and all these architects and all this stuff done so that by the end of this year that we can get out for bid? Is that the goal of this group?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
The goal of this
that's
group is
imperative.
to, they liked, it was, we didn't look at the tentative schedule I put together, but the talk had been about, one, the CMR, two, putting both the discussion, we had preliminary discussion about the CMR and architect, whether those requests should go out at the same time. And I think Stacy's learned some information since, from another county that's going through this now, and it has some input to bring back to the group. On doing that to potentially together, and getting the CMR on board, or the construction manager at risk on board early. So, yeah, the goal would be to have it available for bid, because on the, professional comments we had on that advice was to be able to do that by, I think he said November would be ideal. I think that is the target.
There's a ton of work that's gotta be done between now and November, a ton. And keep it moving is absolutely imperative. And without, and again, I happen to agree with Commissioner Kirschner, without a true head that everybody agrees upon to keep the agenda moving and keeping it going, I mean, that's certainly an issue that can bog it down. I also agree with Commissioner Kirschner that with us having, 60-some% or 75%, however you want to look at it, and to have only one vote is also something that's certainly concerning to me. So I strongly advocate that you would make the proposal that we would have, the commissioners would have a vote somewhat commensurate with the ownership of the investment in the facility. Even though I'm fine after it's built that we are now all equal partners, even though we are giving up a lot of our responsibility there. I'm fine with that, but in the building part of it, I do have some issues, because as I see it right now, we've delayed it a year, and bothers me a lot. We're spending taxpayers' money there, so.
I will.
So I don't know how we get by this impasse. I guess you have to bring it out to the committee and see what their input is on it.
I will share both those concerns, and you will have the ability to be at that meeting, since they're public meetings, as well. So, but that, again, those dates are July 17th, July 30th, and August 14th at noon. I don't know that I stated the time, at noon. Tentatively at the training room in the municipal building. That might change.
Certainly let us know if that does change.
So, yeah, plenty of meetings before that. Anything else?
I applaud you, Holly. And this is a big project. I applaud you for taking charge here. We just got to keep it moving.
All right. Museum update, and then this does end our, well, I guess we'll old business, because we really need to do the hearing. So should we just go ahead and do the hearing? Let's do the hearing, okay. We have scheduled here at 10:15, so we're a little behind to do the Community Development Block Grant hearing number 2, and we'll turn things over to Roxanne Burris.
Thank you very much. And actually, this is number 3. Did you
Oh, it's the third?
Yes, we had one. The second one was the hearing we held to invite potential townships and projects. Yeah. So this is the third and final hearing. I did give you all copies of the proposals that we received. We did receive 3 proposals total for the project year, planning year, program year 2015. And this is the hearing where the commissioners will make a decision about the project that we're going to move forward with. So let me review those for you.
If I recall, there's 90-some thousand that's in this CDBG grant.
Yes. Our allocation for program year 2015 is $91,000 for Seneca County.
Pardon?
91,000.
Okay.
For Seneca County. We also received a letter from the state office, development office, that we are also, we need to spend down our account. We have a revolving loan fund account that has about $113,000 in it.
Is that the one that we loan money to individuals or companies and then they pay it back? And
Yes.
Is that, you know, because there's, I was sat on a committee and there was a lot of inaction with that for a number of years. So now the state's coming back and said we loan it or we. So you may
Yeah.
want, since the paper's here, you may want to give a little bit of background as to what that is, so that if there is individuals or companies out there that are looking for some gap loans there, that we can help.
Right, the revolving loan fund is an amount of money that the federal government gives to us so that we can give to businesses that are trying to maybe start up and need some assistance and some help with that. And then we set up a loan with them, and then they repay back a certain amount. It's a low interest loan, of course, and then they repay back on a yearly basis a certain amount. So we collect that repayment, and over the years we've collected the repayment, and the account has accumulated now to about $113,000. So now the state is saying, okay, you can't just let that money sit there and not do anything with it. So we do have the ability to rechannel the money that we've collected from the loan to other projects. So that was one of my recommendations, that we use that money, because we do have to use that money. The state says we have to use at least 50% of it or lose it. So I wanted to make a recommendation where we could use at least 50% of the $113,000, so we wouldn't lose all of the money that we've collected, and it's just sitting in an account with us not doing anything with it.
So if there is businesses out there, or startup businesses or existing businesses that could perhaps we're having some difficulties getting financing,
Yeah.
they could contact you
Yes.
in regional planning.
Right, and we can see if they're eligible and see if we can possibly help them out.
Is it startup only on when it's a revolving loan, or could it be capital improvement and change, retooling? I mean, can it be other changes to the business, or they can just find out? Does it have to be brand new stuff?
No, it doesn't have to necessarily be brand new stuff, but we can, we'll look at the qualifications. It can be a number of items that will qualify under community development block grant money.
Is there not an RLF committee, a county or revolving loan fund group that approves these credits?
Yes, they'll go through the
Okay, and
committee.
why is it then that there hasn't been some projects? in the
Commissioner
pipeline?
Kirschner, I think I can answer that. I don't think the public is aware that that is out there. And David Zach has some question. That's why I asked Roxanne to give a brief outline of it so it gets in the paper, so that those individuals out there that may need some gap financing or are unable to get conventional financing is available. I think I said on that committee, and we've met a few times, but there just hasn't been any requests coming in.
Right, and I don't think the interest was there either.
Yeah, I mean, I think the question I was gonna ask is, when does the half of the money have to be spent and or lent by?
We have to allocate it by the 26th, which is Friday.
Of, right?
Yeah.
Who are you working with at the state?
We have a new rep,
Is it Tim?
Tim.
Okay, I'd like to,
Hoosier.
when I was in Fairfield County, X number of jobs ago, we had $1 million loan fund, and that was cranking. I think it's been at Regional Planning Commission prior to you coming on board.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't marketed to businesses. Businesses didn't know it, and RPC as a normal course of business doesn't interact with businesses. So it was just kind of sitting there, it wasn't promoted. So a couple ideas that occurred to me is, number one, I think we ought to integrate you on our Insight Committee. That's one thing.
Okay.
Like, you need more things to do, but I think it would be, or at least come and talk about the loan fund.
Exactly.
One of the goals within the county comprehensive economic development strategy, which is the Seneca County plan, is sources of capital. So I want, before we have a chance to market it, I would hate for that money to go. And the sources of money that we had for the where I was in Fairfield County was CDBG, and it was EDA. So I think there's potential. We certainly don't want to lose the money. But we would like that tool. We've just begun to start promoting. You all, I think, are receiving, you know, our monthly newsletter on programs. This would be something we would put in the next one and start getting the word out there. But I think there is, you know, interest rates have been low.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when we were in, you know, my experience has been, you balance the portfolio with some deals that banks won't traditionally do, and you fill gaps. And as well as some companies that strengthen it as well. So my only thought, Roxanne, within your purview in running the program, is to the extent that we can keep it and, you know, use it, I think we will start to see action.
Okay.
This is
But I don't want the state to, I don't want to lose the money either.
This is an old discussion. I was on a revolving loan fund 25 years ago. And the fact of the matter is that there was some interaction with the economic development people and with the chambers, both Fostoria and Tiffin. There's been the concern about marketing this program all the time. So the fact that we're talking about this over again tells me that it's systemic. And we just don't have a procedure in place to make certain that we have eligible customers come to us asking us for those types of credits. That is a job of the revolving loan committee to try to market that, and probably a job of the economic development people, whoever are out there. I know that we all have things that we need to do, but this is important. Here we are on June 23rd talking about allocating this money by June 26th, which to me is insane.
Yeah. Is there any recourse to get some extensions on this? Because now it's going to hit the paper, now that you're going to get it in your newsletters, and I agree with you completely.
I think as she continues with this, she's got a plan.
Yeah, it's already happening.
Like I said, it's in here, but it is a way to use it because it's, and she was explaining this to me because I asked her this Thursday night in Betsville at that meeting. I said, how can they do this without, it's not a loan, so you explained to me then, Roxanne, that when the money's been paid back in, then we can use that money in the form of a grant.
Yes.
And she's suggesting that the Bloomville project we utilize and a little bit from one of these others, which she'll walk through this for us.
Okay,
But, so that is in fact the way it is. So how much does the federal put in? And is it an annual money they make available to us for the loan?
The revolving loan fund money?
Yeah.
We can apply for the revolving loan fund money.
We apply
Right.
for
They
it.
don't give it
Okay.
to us on an annual basis.
Okay.
Again, the age-old problem is you apply for revolving loan money based on the amount that you've used in years past.
Right.
If it's been inactive, the probability of you receiving more money is very slim.
Right.
If it's been active and there has been a lot of activity, customers borrow money, taking it back, the fund grows, and you're able to apply for more. We would probably be very low in the totem pole because we've had very little activity, if any activity, in the revolving loan fund, it appears to me. And I wasn't aware of the fact that it turned into a grant. So you're telling me if we got $113,000 in there, that basically $55,000 goes into a grant and the revolving loan fund shrinks to
We reduce it by,
$55,000?
the amount that we're gonna use for the grant money to fund this one project. That's what's reduced by. So it's less than the $100,000 so there's no additional threat with the state to take the money away.
I got it, but our fund then shrinks,
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
which is unfortunate because of inactivity.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have to use it, and that's what the
I
state
get
is
it.
saying to
I
us.
get that we have to use it. The problem that I see is that if we take these things up, and I know that there's a plan, but if we take these things to the 11th hour, there may be a whole lot of other projects that would have been more eligible and more worthy of the money than scrambling at the end, trying to find some place to put the money. And that's what position we're in.
Okay. Well, let me go through the projects, let me make the recommendation, then you all make a decision about what it is you would like to do. The two projects, there is one project from Fostoria that is total amount is for $88,603. That's for CDBG funding for the $91,000. Remodeling existing first floor public restrooms in the municipal building, and to be complying with ADA requirements. And that was one project that they've submitted. They sent in the second project from, again, the city of Fostoria. That is for $23,745. And that is the removal of existing sidewalks and installation of new sidewalks. That's project number 2. Project number 3 was the Village of Bloomville, which was actually resubmitted, and it was already approved once, but this one got delayed and didn't get a chance to get funded, so they resubmitted it, and that consists of installing curb ramps, sidewalks, concrete curbs, asphalt pavement to the 304 linear feet of New Haven Street at its intersection with Marion Street. New concrete curbs and sidewalks will be installed on the northwest, northeast, southeast quadrants of the project area. So I'm suggesting.
What was the amount of the Bloomville project?
The Bloomville project total is $71,241.75, but they will contribute $31,241.75, which leaves a balance of $40,000 for this project. So my recommendation, of course, was to fund with the revolving loan balance. We had the $113,000, at least take $40,000 of that out to fund the Village of Bloomville project as a grant. This is not money that they would have to reuse. We could take that money out and let the state know we're going to, rechannel this money and use it for the grant to fund this project. It's already been approved, so there should not be a problem with this one, funding that one. That would use at least $40,000 of the $113,000 balance. And then if we fund the 2 additional projects from Fostoria, there would be with the $91,000, obviously that would extend beyond the $91,000, but there would be a balance of $21,348 that we could pull out again from the revolving loan balance to take care of these 2 projects for the city of Fostoria.
But those, Bloomville and Fostoria would have to pay those back then, because it's a revolving.
No.
No. Once it's in once we receive the money back from any project that's paying us income, then we can use the money, we can rechannel the money as a grant. We don't have to have it as a loan.
That was my point earlier about the 11th hour, is that, for example, it may have been better for the county to use the money at the museum because it becomes a grant as opposed to a repayment. And it also is, to the point now, I don't know why the Bloomville project wasn't funded the first time around. I don't know if it was lack of follow-up
It
from
was,
them.
it was funded, they waited on the state to pave or something, because 18. They
Okay,
were waiting on the paving project because they didn't want to do it since there are ramps and that to the road and have it messed up, and then that got behind and therefore they missed their window of opportunity,
so that.
is my understanding.
But that converts from a loan to a grant. The original application was a loan and now it's a grant.
The original application was CDBG funding
It was
last year.
CDBG. It
So
was
it
always
was
a
straight
grant.
grant money.
I think that was
CDBG.
last year.
But it doesn't,
Yeah.
okay, but it
Yeah.
doesn't come out of CDBG money now, it comes out of our.
Now it's out of
revolving
some,
loan.
yeah, another project moved into that slot last year when that one didn't get done or the money just didn't get used, I don't know.
I mean, at the 11th hour, let's say we got a lot of choice, but my issue is the revolving loan fund is really meant for the private sector, and we're using it for public sector money now. Am I correct in that? The revolving loan is really meant for businesses and startups and expansion and things of that nature. But
Yeah.
yet, we're using it for a public project, and only reason we're using it for it is because we don't lose it. I mean, so I agree with that, but I'd rather
So,
see it go to
The
other.
question I would ask, and there was, in the Bloomville project, there were issues where we worked with Roxanne for a number of weeks and months in trying to solve that situation together. If we had another project, the state will use federal money to lend to a business that then will replenish the RLF. My question is the state, if it were to get active again, would the state do the same thing? I don't know what the status of that is. That would be the only question I would have, because the way it got capitalized usually originally is the state makes a loan to a business, and that business then pays not the state back, it pays the county back in its fund. So that would be my question is, to your point, Commissioner Kirschner, is the state willing to do that? Because it hasn't been,
Well, the idea with the revolving loan fund was to create jobs and
Yeah.
generate business activity in the
That's
community.
correct.
That's the sole thought process of the RLF.
Yes, sir.
And now that's gone away. that it's just sad that we, the Royal, we haven't managed that very well over the years. And I'm not sure if that revolving loan fund committee still exists. You know, I know I sat on it for 15 or 20 years, or if it's just inactive.
I think for a long time it's been inactive. I think that's something Roxanne has inherited. It's just like the enterprise zone program. We did the first enterprise zone agreement. We have a lot of community reinvestment areas, but we did the first enterprise zone agreement. The last one, last year with Webster, the last one that was done was, you know, almost a decade before that. So there are a number of programs, I think, including the RLF and some of the others that we're just now starting to
Well,
help
it just
accomplish.
it
You're
makes
right
it
to do.
difficult, it makes it difficult to say, well, we don't have anything else to fund, so we're gonna do this.
I don't
And that's
disagree.
where we're at. I mean, that, to me, is a sad
I hear you.
testament to
don't
how we
disagree.
manage the funds that we receive from the state and the federal government.
We have one business that is still giving us, I mean, they are working on their loan. Their loan, I think, terminates in about a couple of years. And Lori Zeller was in charge of that. So as far as I know, she's probably, if there is still a loan revolving fund committee around, she would probably be the chair of that one. Because we didn't meet with the company this year. They're the only company that's getting the revolving loan fund money now that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I feel a bit pushed into a corner by having to vote for things that the money could have been used more wisely in other places.
Under the circumstances, though, I think it's the best option at this $11.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's either use it or you lose it, kind of thing.
Exactly, and I'm trying to, you know, rechannel it so we don't lose it. So, you know, but obviously the decision's up to you as to what you want to do.
So that'll use about 60,000
Yeah, right on.
out of the revolving loan. So it gets it down to what they
Right,
told us we needed to.
61,
Did Fostoria ever share with you what they were doing? Because they were in the same situation. They also had in excess of 100,000 in their revolving loan fund and were required to get it spent down also by Friday. Do you know what they were doing?
or at least identify something, yeah.
Yeah.
And we may be able to get an extension on that to that Friday date, but I have not been able to make contact with, yeah, so I'm still trying to reach her.
I was just wondering if they didn't use it, did they want to, you know, use the balance of some of theirs? It wouldn't get them down to 50% and nor will it us, but like I said, we could, it's up to now we know it's grant, we could, like you said, put it towards the museum.
Well,
Let
we could.
Fostoria use theirs for the Fostoria project. And we need a Fostoria project in the CDBG program, I understand that.
Yes, right.
And we've got a $88,603 project going to Fostoria. But if they had revolving loan money, that was just a thought, because like I said, the letter had included everybody's and showed, you know, said that they were there too.
Okay, that was my recommendation, so I don't know. How you want to
Do we need to
proceed?
make a motion to accept Roxanne's recommendation? I mean,
Yeah, is there, and was there a sign-in sheet? Do you need one?
I have
It's
some.
one, okay.
Did it circulate?
Mhm.
Oh, great, thank you.
Yeah, I guess that's where we're at. I will, you know, given the fact of where we're at in the timing of this and with a lot of understanding of some areas to do some things differently with managing RLF funds and improving our track record over the years. Over the years, that's been around. Understanding all of that, but I will move that we accept the CDBG fiscal year 2015 project priorities presented to us today, being the, in order, I believe they were the City of Fostoria's first project, City of Fostoria's second project, the 88,603 was the first, 23,745 the second, and then the Village of Bloomville, knowing that the revolving loan fund money will make up the excess needed beyond our 91,000 in program money for CDBG.
Right.
That will be my motion. Sorry about that if I made that too wordy, guys. Or you're writing, but I get it.
I'll reluctantly second that. And the only reason I said reluctantly is because of the issues we talked about here, but.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Okay, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Kirschner,
No.
Commissioner Zoller,
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy.
Yes. Motion approved.
Should we have an alternate figured out for this? Should we, what happens if something, we usually had an alternate project. Do we need to think about that? Do we need to do that?
It would be nice to submit one, but we haven't received. I've tried to get additional projects and,
I didn't know if we still had time to, I
Yeah.
don't,
If it's not submitted with this, or do you only submit up to what dollar figure we're allowed to submit for?
we submit up to the dollar figure we're allowed to, and these will be submitted so we can use the 91,000. You know, and then of course they'll review it, you know, make sure that everything's qualified and everything.
So if they tell you something's not qualified, do they give you a chance to submit another project?
They will work with you, I'm told. I've talked to Karen Bowers about this, and she's shared with me that, you know, you can work with them. That's happened, I guess, in the past, and she has had a chance to gather another project together and resubmit.
Yeah. Okay.
Stacy, wasn't that last year or the year before that there was a project in Bettsville that was up there, and I don't think we ranked it. You may want to reach out to the mayor of Bettsville. Well, I think there was a project, we didn't do it because it didn't rank up there, so I don't know if they end up doing it themselves, or that may be an alternative project.
I actually did speak with him. He had a project he wanted to submit, but it didn't qualify. He needed to hire a person to manage the playground, park, pool area. And that's not an eligible activity for CDBG. So we've had that communication. I've also talked with...
They did do a culvert project
They did,
somewhere,
okay.
somewhere since you and I have been on board.
Yeah, I knew it was something, but I don't know if we did it or not.
They
We
did.
did do it? Okay.
I've had some discussions with another, I think it was Eden Township, that wanted to purchase abandoned house, and it's located next to a park. They wanted to demo that and then use that as parking for the park, and of course they didn't qualify for that project. And then I think it was New Haven that wanted to redo streets, sidewalks throughout the entire, but that didn't really come to fruition, so that didn't come together either. So those have been my discussions. I mean, I've had calls. It's very difficult qualifying. First of all, most of the townships have to do the survey, and there is one other township I think they discussed with you.
The Village Republic.
Yes, they are going to work on their survey so that they can submit next year. We had that discussion. So they didn't have time to do a survey for the 2015 at the time that they contacted me, and then they're going to start working on it, and I'm going to work with New Republic to help them get through their survey process so that we can get them qualified for 2016.
You know, in years past that we used to get CDBG money for ambulances, so I'm sure that would be a quick estimate we could get.
Yeah, as far as if we
If
need an
we
alternate.
need an alternate. I don't know if we still qualify, if ambulances still qualify, but I know, and Dan's here, so he's the one that told me that. We used to use CDBG money years and years ago. It's true. Ambulances. So whether it would still qualify, I don't know, but.
Yeah.
And then there's another project I want to talk with Mark a little bit more about it. You're aware of that one as well, with the assistance for, in light of the new requirements for the improvements to your sewer, that creates sometimes an economic burden for individuals. So Mark was hoping to maybe set up a process that might be able to set up some supplementary funds for somebody who's facing that issue.
His thought was that would possibly be a program for RLF.
Right.
You know, a loan, not a grant, a loan.
Right.
Because some of these people have nowhere to turn to.
Right.
And, you know, they've got access to become part of a system. You know, they're getting, from the health department, they're hearing that they've got to do some things. They thought maybe that would be quite a service we could provide if RLF is a route that could be utilized that way.
Right.
And low interest loan to them to get those, you know, those initial costs, because, you know, to come up with $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 outlay right away, some of them just can't do it. Just can't do it. So, yeah, he is very much interested in anything you've learned on that, he said.
Right. So, you know, there's some interest out there. It's just, you know, the timing from the time that we received it information about 2015 and getting it, together, it's just not enough time, so. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll just keep with our schedule here. 10:45, Tia Rice came back to bless us with her presents again. And so, what did you have for
The
us, Tia?
jesters and, what can I say? So before I get started on that, I don't know if, Roxanne, if you know, but Erie RC&D, and Dave, you might want to know this too, Erie RC&D has a revolving loan fund as well that's available to Seneca County. Erie RC&D is based in Huron County, but it's an economic development that started with NRCS and now they're on their own separate agency. But they have, I think it's up to $1 million that they have available for the revolving loan fund that they do. So, I mean, I can get you more information on that, but it has to be a natural resource-based company, but that's a pretty broad definition. And then also community improvement, downtown community improvement, and then also energy, getting rural businesses energy efficient. So, I mean, those are all things.
You got my contact info?
I think I do. So
Okay.
if not, you're easily found, I think.
Yeah.
So,
That information here when I was at those.
so that's actually
Okay,
a
yeah,
pretty.
that's one of, we don't have that program down. so-
Okay, that's a
Yeah.
great program. It's actually one of the best functionings in the state of
Okay,
Ohio.
super.
So,
Okay.
a lot of money can go through.
And
them,
it'll
so.
come into the smaller communities. David will play into that. I don't remember the population when I said
50,000 or
that.
less.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so,
Okay.
It has to be 50,000 or less. But I mean,
So anything in the
so
county?
everything.
Yeah,
counts,
exactly.
Everything in the county.
Exactly.
Beautiful, okay.
It's a
So-
10-county area, but they always have money still available and are asking
Absolutely.
for projects.
Mhm.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I
send me
will.
stuff, please.
I will get you that contact
Awesome.
information. So I'm just kind of letting you guys know some of the things that are happening in Seneca County. Recently, we just received it's called a RCPP proposal that the state of Ohio received from the federal government. It's an alternative way of delivering conservation practices on the ground versus going through the Natural Resource Conservation Service, NRCS, for those of you who don't know the acronym. So it's a $17 million project that's going to be coming, and Ohio gets $12 million of it in Northwest Ohio. It's going to put a huge burden on the soil and water districts here in Ohio. That, along with Senate Bill 1. I don't know if you guys have followed that at all. Senate Bill 1 was passed, and that's the new, there's going to be new requirements for livestock producers as far as, and also commercial fertilizer producers as far as the application of commercial and organic fertilizers. There's going to be a lot of new regulations that they have to follow through, and it's going to be putting a burden on the soil and water districts as well. Now, the state legislators understand from the Senate Bill 1 standpoint that hopefully there's going to be more funding for districts there to help us do some of these things. The news is, and it's just, I received an email the other day that there's a possibility that we're going to get one-to-one match this year. That doesn't mean that I'll get one-to-one match. That just means overall the state's getting a one-to-one match. I mean, my match will increase from maybe 60% to hopefully about 75%. We'll see. It's not confirmed yet, but they are looking at giving us more money to help with these things, but it's still not going to be enough because we're going to have to write nutrient management plans for these individuals to become compliant with Senate Bill 1 regulations and also to qualify basically from now on in for anything with NRCS as far as their practices go. Individuals are going to have nutrient management plans or what we call certified nutrient management plans, which are includes the manure into it. So in the Northwest Ohio area, there's only 4 people who can write nutrient management plans within soil and water conservation districts. We happen to have one of them with Kendall, and he's already serving a 4-county area doing that for us. We have the potential of having one with Brett to be able to write nutrient management plans and then also go outside the county to write them. The reason I say that is we have an opportunity to write a white paper to NRCS to get additional funding to be able to hire somebody that can do a multi-county, go out multi-county. So actually there's a possibility that we could be hiring another person.
But my problem comes into play is I won't be able to hire that new person unless I have the funding in place to do so. It's not all said and done by any, and we were trying to do this during one of the working sessions, and unfortunately, I haven't been able to get there, but I wanted to give it to you guys to let you guys know and kind of sit on it and let you see what the proposal or the information I gave to you has what the area employee structure looks like across the area for stormwater districts. And then it shows you what I would need for 2015 to hire a person, and then what it would be like in 2016. Now, the 2016, we're hoping to have state match for that, as well as additional funding. So my idea is we get the person in place, get the white paper written, get the proposal written and approved, and we'll actually have that funding for the person, and it wouldn't put a big burden on the county to provide for them. But initially, I am going to have to request additional funding, possibly, to get this person hired in and be able to meet the needs that we're going to have. This isn't something that's temporary. We're going to be doing this from now until they decide to rescind Senate Bill 1 and all those new regulations that are coming out. And we haven't seen the new regulations because they haven't gone through the rules procedure yet. It just got recent class. All the rules aren't out on it yet. But we are being transferred from ODNR to ODA. That's pretty much set in stone. The language is out there. As soon as the budget bill gets passed, the districts are no longer going to be under Ohio Department of Natural Resources. We moved to Ohio Department of Agriculture, which is a good thing. I'm not complaining about that at all. But that also gives us the potential of actually having more responsibilities with ODA as well. So just to let you know, there's a lot of things that are happening as far as the district's going, and either we step up to the plate as far as districts go and accept some of these responsibilities, and that's not always going to be the case because maybe they aren't willing to take on that additional workload. Well, if that's the case, then other districts are going to have to pick up, and that's the case where we're at. We have the potential, and we actually have Kendall, who's already able to write nutrient management plans. Brett's in the process of it, getting certified, but then, there's going to be a need for almost 3 technicians because of we've estimated we're going to be writing at least 150 plans a year for this. And those plans aren't, if you've ever seen one, I can bring one up, they're not easy to write. When you have a 1,000-acre field and you have to do grid sampling on all those, usually that's about 4,000 samples that you have to input and evaluate and do. So it's just a heads up. Again, we're still waiting on all the details. I just kind of wanted to present it to you and let you guys kind of at least start absorbing it and understanding, and that way we can have you guys can ask me questions and we can work on it together. But again, it's not something I'm hoping that won't be a burden that we place on the county forever. I'm hoping that we make it our own little cost center and we're able to receive the funds from other districts, other agencies to be able to do this.
But what you're saying is the first year, you may look for us for some
The first year, I'm probably-
additional funding.
Correct.
To get it started.
Correct. So, and it very well might be that, so. But more and more this district, because of its strength, and it is a very strong district. I don't know if you've talked to your other commissioners, but you have a very solid, not just because I work for it, but you have a very strong stormwater conservation district who has a good reputation, who are doing things proactively, and that's why we're in place now to be able to handle this. We have been proactive instead of being reactive, and that's because of the support we've received from our commissioners as well, and also the other agencies in the county. So that's one reason why we're able to be in this position to put this proposal out there, say, hey, listen, we can write those nutrient management plans and develop what I call a revenue stream. A revenue stream for the county through the district, so, and possibly have additional money come that way, so.
Thank you.
So, don't forget the RC, I'll get that information
Let us
to
know
you.
when you know.
I'll
Okay.
give you a card, might be
Right,
easy.
thank you. But it's a good opportunity, so.
So it could be, could be in 2 days, or it could be 2 weeks or 2 months. And
Well, my proposal is starting probably about the 19th pay period, so we are about a month and a half from
that
that.
you're targeting.
So, I mean, I still have to get,
Like I said, it's all the paperwork, so it's even,
Correct.
that'd be the soonest,
correct.
and it could be,
It could be possibly a little bit later than that even, so, you know, and it might be that we push it back until the beginning of the year as well, but I don't see that because our CPP funds are already released. There should be an announcement next week. Our first sign up is June 1st through July 1st through July 14th, that we're gonna have producers coming in and signing up, and those who don't have nutrient management plans are gonna require it, and then Senate Bill 1 is gonna be our taxing, because that's everybody.
yeah.
Anyone who owns livestock, whether it's a single horse operation, or, you know, they're gonna be required to have nutrient management plans, and they're gonna look to us.
So that's not gonna matter the number of head or anything like that, it's not the larger farms, it's anybody. 4-H projects included, market projects like
Well,
that, maybe.
Possibly, yeah. Those rules are all yet to be decided, but right now, it's any existing livestock operation. And that's more of, not necessarily 4-H projects, but like anyone who has a single horse, they're gonna have to have a nutrient management plan. They can get an exemption till 2017, I believe is the date, but they still will have to have a certified nutrient management plan for how to dispose of their manure. It just can't be dumped on the ground and set in piles like we've had across the county right now. So we're gonna be busy the next, in the future, we'll just put it that way, so.
Thank you. All right, appreciate the heads up. All right, we're scheduled to place a call to Wyandotte County for a joint ditch, so we will make that call. 'Cause we're a little behind. Sorry, it's 2 nights.
This is our ditch day, huh?
Guess it's a good day for me to come up here in case there's questions, right?
This is our hearing then, right?
Commissioner's office, may I help you?
Good morning, you have the Seneca County Board of Commissioners in session for the.
Okay, hang on 1 second.
Yep. Do you guys have this one?
Hello, this is Wyandotte County Commissioners.
Good morning, you have the Seneca County Commissioners.
Well, let me put you on speakerphone so Steve can hear you too. This is Bill Klinger.
Okay,
Okay, can you hear us?
we can hear you. You can hear us?
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Wyandotte County.
Good morning.
Commissioner Zoller here.
Hi, Fred.
How you doing?
How you doing, Fred?
Every day's a dream.
Nice and glad.
All right, we're all three present. We'll have her read the resolution.
I have a resolution for the maintenance assessments for collection in 2016 for the Seneca and Wyandotte County joint county ditches maintained by the Seneca County Ditch Maintenance Program for the Grimes Joint County 50.53, Weidinger Joint County 0.61%. That's all I have.
I make a motion that we approve that.
We have
Fred Zoller, Seneca County, made the motion to approve that.
Bill Klinger, Wyandotte County, I'll second that motion.
Okay, we'll call the roll.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes.
Commissioner Zoller?
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy?
Yes. We'll let you call yours.
Commissioner Klinger, yes. Commissioner Seitz? Yes.
Okay. Motion approved. Easy enough, thank you.
So does the Grimes ditch have a pretty small base? Is that why the percentage had to be higher?
Bill, this is Tia. And yeah, that's it. And plus, we've done a fair amount of work on that as well.
Right. That's what I told Steve, that some of these older ditches have a pretty small maintenance base on them.
I believe that's one of the ditches also that was in the red, and then we're trying to pull it out of the red as well, so.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, thank you very much. It saves a lot of driving.
It sure
Oh,
does.
boy.
Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
You too. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Yep, bye-bye.
Bye.
There you go. See, it was worth having me here after all.
Thank you.
See y'all later.
It's always worth to have you here.
Yeah, okay. And I'll get with you.
Okay.
We were scheduled for an executive session. Can that hold, or do we need to go into doing that? Time-wise? Time schedule?
We're gonna come back after executive session?
We won't have to if we go move on everything else
Let's
now.
go ahead and get everything else done
Okay.
first.
We'll finish, we're back to old business. The museum update was that we had our second reorganizational task team together and had folks from Wood County there last week, and that was very productive. Able to hear things that Wood County Museum has done, ask a lot of questions, get a lot of ideas, and we're slated to meet again in August? July, yeah, in July. So we'll be meeting again, and good news, we received in the mail, came in, I think yesterday, we received a $20,000 check from the Tiffin Charitable Foundation, the application that we had put in
Oh, really? Good.
for monies for the work for the building infrastructure work that needs to be done at the museum. And we've heard from Palmer, so they'll be working on putting that scope together for us of what they think, needs to be done, and then we'll know how we can tackle it.
Okay, do we send them a thank you note or something to
Yeah, we
acknowledge
will.
that they?
We will,
of
to the
their-
Charitable Foundation,
Yeah, yeah, that's very, very generous. of
Yeah,
them.
that's very nice,
Yeah.
very helpful. We had down strategic planning. Do we want to talk about those dates now, or that, we rescheduled that, it was going to be today. Well, we didn't reschedule it, we postponed it.
Yeah.
Indefinitely, I guess, till we figure out a new date, when we want to have that.
And Holly, I'm sorry, I meant to give an update on the dog warden,
Oh, okay.
whenever you're ready.
Anything you want to throw out there on the date for the strategic planning?
Who are you making out with our requests for,
I will receive, had a number of calls, I will receive, all the proposals are due Friday at 4 in my office. And I've gotten a number of commitments of folks that said they're gonna submit something, so
Good,
I'll know
good.
more then.
good deal.
Do we want to look into July? Do we want to get into August?
Well, I was looking at July 14th, and we're gonna be in Sandusky County Engineer's Office. We have to be there for a petition, alley petition,
Yeah, we do.
okay?
July 14th?
Yeah.
That board meeting's not gonna be till 1:30 in the afternoon. The only thought that it's gonna be a full day. I don't know if you wanna do strategic planning after the board meeting in the afternoon, is that a better time? Or the 21st?
From the Transportation Committee standpoint, we're not going to be in a position till, I'm going to say in August, because we're trying to hold this the end of July, or to hold a conference and have a outside facilitator come in and work us through the whole very comprehensive strategic planning process. So that's really kind of the centerpiece of the committee that said that I would chair for the strategic planning. So we don't have anything to expound on until then.
We need to bring the group back together. We do need to bring the group back together, though, I think sooner than August.
Okay.
The 21st of July, how does that work for everybody?
Do it afternoon, that's fine.
Works for me.
There's a coordinators meeting that day at 2, so we would need to do it before then.
Well, we could do the strategic planning meeting at 8:30. Give us plenty of time to get to the board meeting at 10.
10:30, we'd have to leave by 10.
8:30 on the 21st.
21st.
And that gives people plenty of time to plan their schedules as well.
And you guys want to do it out at public safety again?
I'm not sure how many people we'll have there. How many did we have the last time? 20?
Probably more than what we can do in the back room. Commissioner Kirsch, I would suggest that we just do it out there.
Okay, we can.
And then we just do our commissioners meeting right after that.
Well,
No, because our commissioners meeting's not till 2.
Oh, it's not till 2?
7.
Oh, that's an evening meeting, that's our evening
We
meeting.
have an evening
We have to
meeting,
be in
but there
Sandusky
is,
County.
yes, you guys have to be in Sandusky
At
County.
10:30.
I'm confused.
We'll go over it later.
Oh, Sandusky. We have to be in Sandusky County at 10:30 on the
We have
14th,
to,
but not the 21st.
not the 21st.
Well, the 21st one may get canceled. They do their petitions a little different
It
over
says
there.
Sandusky County on the 21st.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't have that, I only had it on the 14th. I didn't know we had to be there twice.
Yeah, if their petition is waived by the landowner, then you guys don't have to go to the hearing over there. But if it's not waived, then they will have a hearing over there too, on the 21st at 10:30.
Okay, and then at 1:30, we got a commissioners meeting. On the 14th.
No, July, we're in July.
July.
The 21st too tentative then, that won't work, because if we've got to go to Sandusky County, we can't.
Well, we could do it that morning, and we'd have to leave by 10. We'd have to be done in an hour and a half.
We have to be there by 10:30?
We'd be there by 10:30.
That's
The 21st on the calendar says phone call.
Let me make sure I'm straight.
Yeah,
At
but it
10:30
could
Sandusky
get-
County on the
It may get
14th.
removed.
So that one is the one they don't have to go to?
They don't have to
14th,
go
they
to.
do have to
The
go to.
14th you go to, the 21st is a phone call that could get,
8:30 strategic planning at the,
On the 21st, 8:30, public safety.
all right.
And that is our quarterly evening meeting, so we're at 7 o'clock in Attica.
We have a
at
long
night.
day.
We
A
are.
long
How
day.
long do you anticipate that's gonna go? I just want to put it, make sure.
Hour. Hour?
There you go, an hour.
What time is the attic? At 7:30?
7.
7. Are we in the village building again?
yes.
Or the, yeah, that is a village building.
Mhm.
Okay. I can picture it, let's go. All right,
So we got strategic planning at 8:30, and we got commissioners meeting at 7 o'clock in Attica.
yes.
Am I missing something in the middle there?
We may have a phone call at 10:30.
You'll let me know.
I'll let you know.
We'll let you know. Yep. Well, you wanted to bring up other scheduled stuff. I know one was,
Well, the meeting on the 28th, I know Commissioner
July.
Of July, yes. Commissioner Kirschner will be going that time. I will be leaving on the 28th and going for that week. I'd like to move that meeting to the 27th on a Monday. Because with Commissioner Kirschner going all week and me going all week Tuesday on, Monday would be the only day we could really have it, where 2 commissioners are here.
well, yeah.
And that would be
yeah,
then to cancel the 30th meeting.
Yeah, unless we did the, the only reason I was pushing the end of the week, just because we usually do it to do the
Yeah.
wrap up at the end of the month, but if.
None of us will be there. I
Well, I'm
mean, you'll be,
I'm okay on
31st.
Friday the 31st.
oh,
But, so either Monday the 27th, you guys decide, or Friday the 31st. I don't want you to.
or we can still do both meetings, which that's the end of the month. If we still wanted to keep both meetings,
I'm not gonna be a
to
recommendation.
just have one.
Well, why don't you schedule the meeting for the 27th, and then if it's necessary, schedule the meeting for the 31st.
Yeah. that
Depending
would
on how
be
much,
my
if there is any business to finish up by the end of July.
All right. 27th, regular time at 10.
Mhm.
Okay.
And if we have no business or very, we can
Yeah,
cancel
just
it.
let me know about that
Yeah.
if you will.
So we're gonna cancel the
That'll be
28th
the-
and cancel the 30th.
That'll be
Right.
the fair opening, but that is usually at 8 a.m., I believe.
What's that, Holly?
The fair opening.
Oh.
And
The ribbon cutting of the fair is always on that Monday, right? Monday,
Yeah, yeah.
27th. But that's at 8, so we'll be no problem getting back here to have a meeting at 10.
That'll be fine.
All right.
You said a date in August we need to talk about too?
I'll go ahead, I'll get with you guys later and let you know when scheduled about this.
Okay. There is a retirement on Thursday, and we have a proclamation for Nancy Cochran.
Yeah, I have her,
And
I
didn't know
have
if somebody-
Nancy Steyer looking over it just to make sure she got everything in it that she wanted in it,
Okay.
so I have it printed out today.
Didn't know if anybody can plan to attend that. It's at 6 o'clock out there, building on North Sandusky on 53 there. I'm coming back from Columbus, so I kind of hate to come, in case I don't get out of the conference. It's supposed to end around 4:30, but
what day is it?
Thursday.
It's
this
the
coming
25th,
Thursday.
yeah. I will be out of town. I won't make that commissioners, we still having a commissioners meeting this Thursday.
No,
That's been canceled.
that's been canceled.
I'll get out, get the proclamation. What time, Thursday?
6 o'clock. I can forward you with that. I just saw a reminder, I don't know who all that went to, but they just sent a reminder today about the party because they sent it a thing a long time ago.
Make sure I get a copy of that,
Yep.
whatever I'll get out there.
All right. Dog warden, you said you had something from back.
Yeah, as you know, Kelly put in a request. These are funds that she has available. One of them, she wanted to, there's some, I don't know, whatever, some panels that you can wash the kennel down and so forth, that's in the first 4 foot of the walls. And what happens is above that, there's like a perforated panel, and if you spray water in it, then the water gets in the inside and all the mold and blah, blah, blah. She'd like to go ahead and extend it, instead of 4 foot up the wall, go 8 foot up the wall. I certainly, and she mentioned about maybe some extra insulation in there. I thought I would, since Lenny Klaus built the building, and he typically insulates it very well when he builds it, so I'm gonna check to see what our value that's got. And I would recommend that we go the extra 4 foot, and she has the funds available, so it's not a matter that this would be a negative effect to the general fund. So I would recommend that. As far as the insulation, I said, let me get a price on the insulation separately from adding this 4 foot of plastic, is the best word for it, to get that. She also mentioned, and this sounds maybe a little crazy here, but I can see her point, is to get some air conditioning in the dog kennel. And I'll tell you what the problem is, there's so much water condensation in there, it's a safety hazard. She's got one of these tile floors, but because of all the moisture and the condensation, it's a skating rink in there, and somebody's gonna fall down and hurt themselves. And if we would have some sort of air conditioning to take care of that, so I asked her to get a separate cost on that. I mean, I don't want to put in the paper that I'm advocating put air conditioning to the dog kennel, but from a safety standpoint, it's, I mean, I'm slipping and sliding around there myself, and it's just condensation on the floor because there's so much moisture in the building. I'm sorry.
I think we'll refer this to John, let him go out, take a look, he's our maintenance guy,
Yeah.
and come up with a recommendation.
I would be totally supportive of that.
Leave the maintenance to the maintenance people.
Again, a request come in, and I said I wanted to see it firsthand before just approving the request, and I would defer to that we have a maintenance person that's certainly capable to make that assessment.
So we don't need any action.
No.
Okay. Stacy, we had a Liberty Bell under new business.
Yes, I had a fair board member stop by last week and ask, which we'd never had a request like this before, but the Liberty Bell that's in the annex building, the fair board has requested, along with the Veteran Services, they want to display it at the fair. I had John go over and look and talk to the other maintenance guys to see how hard it would be to move. Apparently we do have a frame for it, so it could be displayed. So he doesn't think it's gonna be much of a challenge. I mean, it's big, so we're gonna have to, we'll weasel it out of there, but I just wanted to check with you. I know other counties, they have them displayed, and they've even had them in parade, so I've not had a request like this before. I didn't think it would be an issue as long as John didn't think it was gonna be a problem trying to move it. And he said he didn't think so, we might have to get a small little trailer, but I just wanna make sure it was all right with you. John said he thought it'd be not a problem.
Okay. He doesn't find access to borrowing a trailer. He might be able to connect him with one, depending on the weight,
Okay,
what he needs. I mean, we're just renting one.
okay.
Maybe we'll notify the judges we're not moving them out.
Okay.
Starting with the
This
bell.
isn't the first process of vacating the building.
Okay. I think that gets us caught up to everything. We are down to the bill vouchers there.
Okay. I have bill voucher batch number 2807. I have a resolution authorizing a fund advance from the general fund to the Impaired Driving Enforcement Program Fund. Advancing $3,000 from the general fund to the Sheriff's Office Impaired Driving Enforcement Fund. Resolution authorizing a fund advance from the general fund to the Selective Driving Enforcement Program Fund, moving $5,000 as an advance. resolution authorizing an appropriation adjustment within the Joint Justice Center Fund. And this is putting $10,000 from contract services into advertising, which would be for all of the legal notices for the architect, for the request for qualifications. We needed money in advertising for that, so. I have a resolution approving the bargaining unit agreement between the Seneca County Department of Job and Family Services and the ASME Ohio 8 Local 1685, serve case number 15030323, expiring June 30th, 2018. I have a resolution providing for retaining Squires, Patton and Boggs LLP to provide certain legal services in connection with county financing and improvement projects and other financially related matters. And I also have the resolution setting time, date, and place for the Seneca County Board of Commissioners and the City of Tiffin to accept requests for qualifications for owners' representative services for the Joint Justice Center project. This will be accepted until Friday, July 17th, 2015 at the Seneca County Commissioner's Office up till 11 a.m. And I think that's all I have.
All right, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
A motion and a second to approve the resolutions as stated. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, call the roll.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes.
Commissioner Zoller?
Yes.
Commissioner
Yes.
Stacy?
Yes, all stand approved. We will go to citizens' comments at this time because we'll have a need for an executive session for personnel reasons and anticipate no action needed after that, so we can do citizens' comments at this time in case you wanted to move on to other places and you have things you want to share with us. So any citizens' comments at this time? Okay, seeing none, do I have a motion to go into executive session?
Seconded.
The motion is second, so call the roll, please.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Yes.
Commissioner Zoller?
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy?
Yes, 11:25, and we'll go into executive session for personnel.